Hey there, and good morning, folks. Mike Trim, fresh off the set of the Today on 5 morning broadcast from 4:30 to 7 a.m. and a lot of Olympic news to get to as you've been watching it on WPTV News Channel 5. And if you need to know what the times are, when the schedule is, when the events you can watch, just go to WPTV.com, our Special Olympics section. But boy, what a morning and news we never thought was coming. Simone Biles withdrawing from the team competition for USA Gymnastics. I invite you to get in the comments section as we're going to ask you questions to get you involved and see the information that you want to see as well and talk about in these great Olympics that are happening right now in Tokyo. So let's get to the very latest with Biles. Hoda Kotb from the Today Show, which of course you can catch right after our Today on 5 show, just spoke with Biles. And this is so fresh, I'm going to show it off the Instagram profile for the Today Show. Biles said, physically, I feel good. Emotionally, it varies on the time and moment. Coming to the Olympics and being head star isn't an easy feat. If you are missing this story this morning, if you are not up to date, she was on the vault this morning. Simone Biles was starting the team competition as they were heading in to today, kind of behind the Russian Olympic Committee, Team Russia. As you see the agony of defeat pictures leading up to this, went to vault, landed awkwardly, and then spoke with the trainer, and then the announcement from USA Gymnastics that she would be out. As a matter of fact, this is that official tweet. The official statement reads, as you can read along with me here on the screen, Simone Biles has withdrawn from the team final competition due to a medical issue. She will be assessed daily to determine medical clearances for future competitions. Thinking of you, Simone. Obviously, those future competitions would be the individual competitions where Simone Biles is considered the greatest gymnast of all time, would be a favorite for the gold in anything she touches. So a lot of things floating around out there. That's the official statements, and you can maybe read between the lines and what she told Hoda Kotb from the Today Show this morning. We're just asking you, do you think mental fatigue led to this decision, led to the missteps, led to what's gone on so far with the women's gymnastics team? Let's just talk about Biles specifically. When you're tabbed the GOAT, the greatest of all time, and you have that on your shoulders coming into the Olympics, do you think that played a role? As Liliana says, my respect for Simone Biles, excellent American gymnastic. Thank you for your job. And boy, we can't disagree with that. She did what she needed to do, says Emily, keeping the team in mind. She did the right thing. 3 up counts towards the total score. And guess what? That total score, when it was all said and done, you got to be proud of our ladies on the gymnastics squad. They won silver. They still won silver in the absence of Simone Biles completing her competitions. A great comment there as well, as we just saw popping up. Thanks for getting in this conversation bright and early, guys. Well, not so bright and early when you think about it, but 10:44. But yeah, we there they are on the stand right there. Silver medalist USA Olympic team. There they are, the beautiful medals that they received. Wow. It had to be tough. You know, Hoda Kotb was in constant communication with them with the Today Show. And yeah, you know, Christina, and let's go ahead and bring up Christina's comment as well. You know, sure. I mean, when there has to be an enormous amount of pressure, and it's hard. It's hard for media outlets like us that are the official station for the Olympics right now here locally to not, play up someone we're so proud of and that has, you know, competed at such a high level, gold in the Olympics in Rio. The pressure has to be crushing, said Edith. Good to take care of herself physically and emotionally. She is the best. So we have not heard officially from USA Gymnastics that Simone Biles will not compete in individual competition. I think we're all hoping for that. But again, you know, settling for silver with the team competition isn't the worst thing in the world. But when you think about the expectations they had headed in with Simone Biles on the team and the outcome that happened today, a little disappointment, but silver's not all that bad, right? Okay. So as you kind of process that, and please get in the conversation here as we're talking Olympics and big stories of the day, something you might not see first everywhere else, but right here on WPTV, on this Facebook page, you will. We're talking the local Palm Beaches and Treasure Coast Olympians that are taking part in the Tokyo Games. And right now, Luke Muller from Fort Pierce, sailing. He just wrapped up his 2 races for today. We do have a picture of Luke that we will show you because he is racing. Check this out. Okay, there he is, right? You can see him there on the bottom left-hand side. Okay, so that's what's called a fin. It is, if you don't know, an Olympic class men's sailing event. It's a single-handed cat-rigged sailboat. Okay, one-man crew. Luke's on his own. He just really sailed here locally as a kid out of Fort Lauderdale as well, and then representing the force is with Luke, right? Let's get in the comment section and give him some support as he might be looking at this a little later when he has some downtime in Tokyo. But Luke has 6 more races by my count this morning, starting tomorrow, and then he's wrapping Sunday, and then he will possibly – he finished 6th and 11th in his races today. If he accumulates enough points, he might get to that medal race next week, but we got to see how it pans out as conditions were smooth today, according to the USA Sailing results website. So Luke Muller, local, Team USA Sailing, taking part right now. Okay, what else is on your mind when it comes to the Olympics? Deborah kind of mentioned the same thing. Michael Phelps, a lot of pressure got to him in those off seasons from the Olympics, as we're talking about Simone Biles this morning. Little controversy with him, a little marijuana use, and then there was just the mental issues, and then set it all straight, and got back in the Olympics and dominated. So, when it comes to competitors like that, man, they can ratchet it up to that higher gear. Emily said my 5-year-old was watching it, and a huge lesson for her as she looks up to Simone even more now, to be just have that fortitude enough to say, I need to step out from this competition, be a good cheerleader for my teammates, cheer them on to silver. Okay, another big story this morning. Women's softball team, women are crushing at this Olympics. They did fall to Japan, and they won the silver medal as well. You'll see it later on throughout the day when the video becomes available. One of the greatest plays is you could kind of see them hugging each other, the Team USA, after falling to Japan today. Final score 2-0 in the bottom. So softball plays 7 innings. The bottom of the 6th inning, when it was still 2-0, and Japan was looking to tack on some more runs, there was probably the play of the softball Olympics as a home run was robbed by our left fielder. It was an amazing play. That's going to be replayed. And you thought maybe the magic might continue after the walk-off win to get to this gold medal game for the U.S. softball team. Fell short, but can't be that upset. Silver representing the USA in the World Olympic stage. Hey, we're proud of them, right? And Emily also says, great job. That was a tough game. Yeah, Japan brought it. They were good. And they're the host team, so they had that behind them. Even though there's no crowd there with the big noise, they really, really stepped to the plate, pun intended. But can't be sad for our softball team. They really, really showed up for us great, right? Okay, so moving forward, a little more stories. How about our women's soccer team? Okay, so you had the disappointment at the very beginning, falling to Sweden in that first match. But you know what? Tied a draw, as they call it in soccer today, with Australia, and they're moving on to the knockout rounds. So however they got to this point, here they are. They are a great team, obviously, won the World Cup, won the gold medal. They're a seasoned squad with a lot of seasoned veterans on that team. And they are ready to, knock it forward in the knockout round. I don't think their competitor has been named, but we are absolutely cheering for the women's soccer team. I wish I could say the same for the men's team. They did not even qualify for the Olympics. That's another story. But as Edith says, add to all talking about Simone Biles here as well, add to all their usual pressures, the pandemic, everything they've gone through. Keep in mind the games were postponed from a year ago. Perhaps all these athletes were ready to go last year in peak condition, and then you just have to add another year onto that. That really plays. Christina says, so proud of all of our athletes. Got you there. What's on your mind? What's your favorite competition so far? There's there's a lot to get to. Let's hope the men's team can bounce back from their loss. Zion Wright, skateboarder, still scheduled to skate a little later this week from Jupiter. He is on his way, getting on the way to Japan. Also, Jessica Ramsey, shot putter. To me, growing up, track and field was always the crown jewel of the summer games. Ran track in high school, idolized Michael Johnson in his Atlanta moment. Remember, he wore the gold shoes and just absolutely dominated, setting world records. A lot of that. Emily says, looking forward to that 1,500-meter women's freestyle, which, of course, Katie Ledecky hopefully can just dominate. You know, Katie Ledecky, when you watch her in the pool, Team USA dominated Rio. You look and you're like, where are all the other swimmers? This is a practice run, and you realize she's that far ahead. So let's hope Katie Ledecky, who did narrowly lose already, okay, so she is human, that she will dominate in the rest of her events in the pool. So kind of let's bring up Hillary's comment if we can. Hillary Loftus. We're talking about Luke Muller, who competed in the sailing fin event today. Go, Luke. Hope it's yours. Hope your Finn's favorite win there in Tokyo. Sail fast. Have fun. We're all cheering you on here from South Florida, my man, especially those in the Treasure Coast, Fort Pierce. When you can call someone your own from your own backyard, it adds a little excitement when you watch the games. And I grew up always watching the games. It was a family event, you know. You just get to see, like I said, track and field was always cool. You have the 100-meter dash and all these just great events that you can see. But Jessica Ramsey from Boynton Beach recently celebrated a birthday, by the way, so you can get the birthday comments for Jessica Ramsey. She is on Team USA as a shot putter, and you will be able to see her beginning Friday. Robot basketball is interesting, Deborah. And in the gyms today, they had this robot, swishing stuff from half court. I guess they just did the math right and just swishing it. So as Al Roker said, or as Craig Melvin said on the Today Show this morning, hey, maybe he can be our sixth man on Team USA, hit some clutch shots. But I think Damian Lillard and Kevin Durant will have something to say about that, and I think they're going to bounce back. Didn't finish watching the finals of skateboarding and went on something else. Who won? Hey, I can tell you right now we had a bronze medalist, but it's that competition is still going on. Also, one of the really cool stories of the Olympics, we don't have the video of it, but there's this viral video of this Brazilian girl when she was small with a fairy costume on, right? She had the little hat, she had a little crown and a dress, doing a heel flip in Brazil, right? She was super young. That's progressed, and she just won the gold medal. She won the silver medal in skateboarding, and you just see this progression. That's all over social media today. Even though not from the U.S., these Olympics are filled with so many cool stories, including, the headline. I had to get to all what's current right now. We're talking about Carissa Moore. Yes, totally won the first ever gold medal in women's Olympic surfing history, and she's from the United States. The Honolulu, Hawaii native took the gold today. Boy, couldn't be more proud, as when the history books are written, Surf's Up, Carissa Moore, who was a 4-time champion already in the water, ripped it up today, finished it almost perfect, and brought home the gold. So there's your trivia question for the day. Hey, do you know who the first ever women's gold medalist was in surfing? Because that is a new event this year. It's Carissa Moore from the United States. That's right, bringing home the gold. We talked about that on our morning show, and we talk about the Olympics all on our morning show. Surfing and skateboarding, man, Deborah, good question. How did they become sports? It goes through the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, and they ask what's a valid sport? How can we do this? And hey, if anybody thinks skateboarding's easy, jump on a skateboard and just try to go into a pool or, a dried up pool or a ramp, and come back and tell me how easy that is. But we have some world-class Olympians. Hey, Hillary grew up watching them. Thank you. Thank you for getting involved with this. And gosh, there's so much more to happen. Cheryl, I'll briefly update you since you're kind enough to join us this morning. What happened to Simone Biles? So right now they're saying it's a medical issue. She did the vault, landed a little awkwardly, talked to a trainer. Next thing you know, break it. just to tell you about the behind the scenes in our newsroom, that was like, whoa, Simone Biles, like that's the top story. It happened during the Today Show hours, because we were talking about it this morning on our Today on 5 show, talking about, wow, Simone Biles, the women's gymnastics teams are going to be at it, but they did win silver without her. Still not clear if it's going to be individual competition for Simone Biles or not. And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of information floating out there on social media. So we went what was verified with USA Gymnastics, and again, the comments that she said to Hoda Kotb. But Simone Biles, as of right now, they're saying it's a medical issue. She'll be evaluated every day moving forward to possibly. Jerry Ann Green, yes, absolutely. All these athletes have had an extra year of stress when the Olympics were postponed. I mean, they had the eye of the world on them forever. Expectations for our athletes has always increased 10-fold or 100-fold. All we can do is they ask that they do their best. Love you all. Who couldn't? I think that's the sentiment today. You know, like you kind of take a step back and you're like, all these athletes were ready to go last year. And I mean, think about being in the peak position and peak physical fitness and mental fitness, and then saying, you know what? They didn't even know it was going to happen this year. They're like, postponed. We're going to try to do it next year. So stay in your best condition, right? Stay in your peak ultimate mental and physical condition. The fact that they were still able to go there and win silver, and the fact that there is still an open opportunity for Simone Biles to compete in individual competition says a lot about her and the resolve of these athletes. And I just think that even without spectators, the fact that they're pulling this off safely, they are tested daily, that is a miracle in itself. Team USA Beach Volleyball, too, doing fantastic. Emily's our big winner for the day, watching the games, and we appreciate that. I wish I could get to all of them. You know what I mean? And thank you, Joanna, for watching, and appreciate everyone here. I like talking with you. You know, the day winds down for us after the morning shows, and I want to talk Olympics. Love the sports. It's just so interesting to see them just all happening at once. It's kind of a feel, if you're a big sports fan, like the NCAA men's tournament. You know, it's just like all day. It's team after team, and you don't know what to watch. I feel like it's that way with the Olympics. You're like, holy cow, somebody just won a medal. What was that? Let me see the replays. I hope it's the same for you. And if you want to see what is let's go to the medal count. Absolutely. Because when it's all said and done, we want to flex that American muscle, right? And say, yeah, we've got the most medals, right? Well, let's see. Here we go. Okay, so we have 25 right now, including 9 golds. China coming in second at this point with 21, with 9 golds as well. And you can see the rest of the competitors right there. Who knows how that's going to end up by the end when the swimming wraps up and the track and field and basketball, and who knows? By the way, Sue Bird in basketball looking to become, I believe it's the first 4-time gold medalist in Olympic basketball for the United States. The women are not to be messed with. I tell you what, in that category when it comes to the women's team, they beat Nigeria, but the sentiment is it's not going to be a foregone conclusion. They're going to have to fight for it. So Sue Bird, the flag bearer, right, for the opening ceremonies, star for Team USA. Check them out as well. Donna, appreciate the updates as well. I wish we didn't have to bring you the news about Simone, but I'm glad you got it here and from us, and trust us as a news team that we're going to have those updates throughout the day. Of course, our newscast, again, on air starting at 11 o'clock right now. So if anything breaking comes in, you can catch Holly Davis and Chris Gilmore. They're live on air for WPTV for the next hour. Check out the games. You can go to our Special Olympic website section on WPTV.com. You can get the schedules on how to watch, the various ways you can catch every event. You know, back in the day when I watched, you had to watch what was on the one channel, right? There are now so many different ways to watch. You can, of course, catch the games in its entirety almost as we bring up, there it is, the Olympics. It is WPTV.com/sports/Olympics. Check it out, and you can get caught up on your own time on all these stories that we're talking about here. Naomi Osaka, right? Lives in the U.S., obviously born in Japan. She fell this morning as well. We thought that would be the biggest story. Oh, how we were mistaken, but she's out in the Olympics as well. You can see the Simone Biles update. Here it's on our WPTV.com Special Olympics section. I encourage you to go. It's all about the backstories with these Olympians as well, right? So cool to hear and see them. So keep the conversation going. Keep the cheering on going for Luke Muller from Fort Pierce this week in the Finn sailing event. He has 6 more races to go this week. I believe I'll stand corrected, but he finished his first 2 today. He has more to go this week. Hopefully he can get to that medal race. Jessica Ramsey later in the week. Hey, we're going to bring in some of our partners a little later this week as well from ESPN 106.3, our Hubbard radio partners. Ashley Walters was on assignment today, so it was left up to me. Hopefully I brought you a great update and got you excited about watching the games and enjoying this competition. I appreciate all your comments. We are on 4:30 to 7 a.m. every Monday through Friday for Today on 5. For now, though, here's a hand salute to you. Let's go Team USA, and we'll see you soon.